Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Heidi with Onigo Stamping, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. How many of you struggle making cards for guys? Me? Yep, you can raise your hand, say me. So tonight, I am going to be making some cards that you could use for guys. Actually, I think you could use them for anyone because that's how awesome they are. So they really would work for anyone at all. If you are just joining me tonight, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that you are here and watching. Let me know if it's your first time watching. I'm so glad that you're here and you're joining me. Just giving a couple seconds here, and then we are going to get started right away with our stamping. Like I said, I am going to be making some masculine styled cards tonight, and let me show you. Let me go ahead and show you what we're going to be using. So here's the stamp set that we're going to be using. Hi, Beth. Welcome. This is the Cactus Cuties stamp set, and I think it is absolutely adorable. And along with the Cactus Cuties stamp set is the Cactus Builder Punch. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. Hi, Carol Sue. The Cactus Builder Punch, which is great for making cactuses. And it is going to punch out some of these shapes in here. So really fun bundle that you can get. I absolutely love it. And a few weeks ago, I made some bright, cheery cards with it, right? Some like rainbow cards with it. Well, tonight we are going to make some neutral cards with it. So to show you how this can be just a little bit more on the masculine side. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my cameras around. Let me get this maybe right. Get these flipped around. All right, so here is the stamp set. Now, I have already done just a little bit of the work. I have a piece of crumb cake cardstock. It is 8.5 by 5.5, and I went ahead and I folded it in half to create my card base. And then I have another piece of crumb cake cardstock, and this piece is 5.25 by 4 inches. Now, it's a little bit, oh, there we go, we can see it. So I have embossed this with the Tasteful Textile embossing folder. This is the embossing folder right here that I used on it. I'm not going to do the embossing tonight. I already have it ready to go, but I think next week I'm going to share exactly how to do some dry embossing, because with the mini cut emboss machine, because it is on special this month. It's 20% off this month, as well as a bunch of the stamp and die bundles. So I think that next week I might do that. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this right on the front, just like that. Quick and easy. And then we'll start the stamping. All right, we're going to do some masking tonight. Hi, Vicki. So glad you're here. We're going to do some masking tonight. Masking is a great way to make a scene, to make it look like you have multiple things that are one in front of the other. When you are doing masking, you want to start with the item that you want to be on the top. All right, so it seems a little bit different than what you think. Normally you think, I'm going to make the background and then I'm going to put something on top of it, right? In this case, we're going to start with what's on top, and then we're going to make the background. So I want to start. I have this little stamp here, and I think I'm going to use the diamond pot with this one. And I am going to grab my crumb cake ink. I'm going to go ahead and ink up that diamond pot, and I'm just lightly tapping it a whole bunch of times. And let's put that about right here. Now, while I have this right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab some sticky notes, right? Just regular sticky notes. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp this right towards the sticky top part of my sticky note. So I have that. We'll put away the crumb cake for a few minutes. And I'm going to grab the Soft Succulent. Soft Succulent is one of our in colors, and I'm using a couple of our in colors. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Jamie. Wow, we got quite a crowd tonight. All right, right here. So Soft Succulent is one of our in colors, along with the Evening Evergreen that I'm going to be using tonight. And I think they are absolutely gorgeous. They work really well with our neutral colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this right up here on top. Now, what's really nice about the photopolymer stamps is that they are clear, so you can see through them to really line them up. Now I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that on my little sticky note pad again. I can't talk. I can't talk tonight already, and it's just starting. And then I want to grab, oops. Uh-oh. Oh, there they are. I was going to say my paper snips are missing. So I'm going to grab my paper snips. I'm going to go ahead and peel off this sticky note. And I'm going to cut now. I do this differently than I do my fussy cutting. When I'm fussy cutting, I leave a little bit of a border. When I am cutting out masks, I'm going to cut like almost just inside that little pot area, like just inside the outside edge, because you're going to get a little bit of a halo. So if you can cut inside, that's going to help you with your stamping. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this so you can see how that's just a little bit smaller. And I know I'm going to stamp over here, so I even put it just over a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these leaves out in just the same way. And again, just cutting like inside a little bit, because you have to make up for the thickness of the paper. Sounds kind of weird, huh? You'll see though, if you've never done masking before, you are gonna be amazed with this. It is a simple technique, but boy, does it wows. So, all right, I'm just gonna cut that off, and I'm gonna go ahead and I know that my stamps aren't gonna go over there, so I'm gonna just leave that on there. I'm not gonna worry about cutting that whole thing. And then we'll come in here and just layer this up too. So just like that. And I have covered that up. So I've covered up my stamped image. Hi, Lisa, welcome. I've covered up my stamped image. And now what I want to do is I'm going to grab, I think I want this pot right here. And I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to move things out of the way over here. I'm going to stamp it with soft suede. I really like soft suede. It's got kind of a, I don't know, it's got a greenish tint to it. I just like it because I find it kind of soft and warm. And I'm going to stamp this pot just a little bit kind of above and behind. So we'll give that a good stamp on there. There we go. And now I want to stamp my big cactus, this big cactus top. I love two-step stamping. This is called two-step stamping when you have different stamps for the like the cactus and then a stamp for the pot. And I love it because it makes it so easy to get lots of color without actually having to do any coloring. So I'm going to stamp my big cactus back there. There we go. And now we can peel off these sticky notes. And you can see, we'll save those for later. I'll put those in the little stamp case with my stamps. And you can see how you get those two plants, one in front of the other, really quick and easy. Now I have a scrap piece of white here, and I'm going to make one more cactus. This cactus I'm actually going to punch out. We're going to put a third cactus on here, but I wanted to pop it up on some dimensionals. Oh, thanks guys. I'm so glad you like it. All right, let me grab, I forget to do this sometimes. So here's my punch. I'm going to turn it around, and I want to think about how I'm going to slide this in. So I know this is going to go this way. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my cactus right there. Now this stamp is a little bit different than a lot of our punches that stamp out stamped images, because usually our punches leave a little bit of a border, but this one is going to cut inside. It's going to cut so there is no border at all. There we go. And then we'll stamp the pot too. Now the pot is over here, so I think I want to go, see how to get it just, well, we'll put it down here. All right, try not to punch all my paper so I can use it for a different project. I'm going to grab my Night of Navy, and we're going to use, here it is. We're going to use this pot right here that has like stripes in it. Just that one right there. The big one looks so vibrant. It is, because it's really dark. It's just the ink is so dark on those ones. So, all right, we're going to line this one up, and just push that out too. And there's our little pot. Set that aside. Now I want to grab, I like to use a little bit of baker's twine on here. We're going to actually tie a little bit of twine around our pot. Now this is, I am not going to lie, this is a little bit challenging just because the little pot is so small. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this about what I think I'm going to need. I'm just going to lay this on the back here. And then, so it kind of stays in place while I'm trying to tie it, I'm going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to go ahead and just already stick a dimensional over this because I know I want to put this up on dimensional. So we're just going to pop a dimensional right over the top of that. And that's going to help keep that like in the right spot so I can tie it. And then we'll just go ahead and tie a little bow on here. We'll see how it comes out. Sometimes bows work and sometimes they don't. So there we go. All right. And I have a separate paper snips. So my paper snips with my little gingham ribbon on there, I know that those are for ribbon. So we'll go ahead and just trim that off. And then I'm going to just do a little bit of putzing. When I pull out, when I want to make my bows smaller, I go ahead and hold on real tight to the center. That just helps keep them tighter. So I don't have to pull it out as far because I want a very small bow on here, I think. There we go. All right. And we'll just pop and pop. Should we see if we can give those a little bit of a curl? I'm going to take my bone folder and just run that over the edge. And I'm holding really tight to the center, so I hopefully don't pull it out. Not getting a ton of curl tonight. Sometimes it curls a lot, sometimes it doesn't. But we'll just give it a try. There we go. So that's kind of fun. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and build this. I'm going to put just a little bit more dimensionals on here. Stick one more. And I'm going to grab a mini. I kind of, where I placed that first one, makes it a little bit challenging to get another big one on there. So we'll just put a mini. Pop those off. My trash can got moved. It's really far away from me right now. All right. So we'll go ahead and put that little pot right there. Oh, he's so cute. And then I'm going to put the little cactus up there as well. Where'd my dimensionals go? They run away from me. Does that happen to you? Do you guys lose your dimensionals on your craft table? I feel like I spend most of my time looking for dimensionals. They always get buried underneath something, but I love them. I have to have dimensionals on every card, I think. So we'll just put that in there, and there are our 3 cacti. Now, I want to add a sentiment to this. I'm going to grab my piece of soft suede cardstock, and I want to do some heat embossing on this. So I promised you we were going to do some heat embossing tonight. So I'm pulling out my Versamark ink pad, and I have my sentiment stamp that says just a note. It looks a little bit crooked. When you go to put sentiment stamps on, especially these photopolymers that are really bendy, I like to just kind of, throw it down on my table, just like that. Kind of, you can line it up with the lines on your grid paper and then go ahead and pick it up with your stamp. Now, oops, before I do that, I am going to grab my embossing buddy. We no longer carry embossing buddies, which is super sad. But I have heard that you could just use a dryer sheet and rub that across, and that will help as well. It gets kind of like I don't know, they say it gets static. I think it gets kind of the oils and things from your hands off of your piece of paper so that the embossing powder doesn't stick to it. So I'm just going to stamp this just a note with Versamark ink. Cover up my Versamark pad. And I, of course, forgot to get out a piece of scrap paper. So we're going to use a little tiny piece of scrap paper that has writing on it. Sorry about that. And then I have my white embossing powder. We'll just go ahead and sprinkle this right on top. Whoa! It all came out in a big clump. And then just, you know, kind of tap that off. Now, if you had, so I have some little stray embossing flakes on here. Let me see if I have the right. So I'm going to grab a little watercolor brush. I'm just going to kind of pick up some of those strays and pull those off. All right, now we'll take this extra white embossing powder and it just goes right back in the tub. These embossing powder tubs last forever. Like, yeah. I've actually had embossing powder go bad on me before I was able to use up the whole tub. If it is not melting well, it's probably old and needs to be replaced. All right, this is going to get just a little bit loud, but you're going to be able to see it do its melty tricks. So you just want to heat this until the embossing powder melts. Just like that. Oh, so pretty. I love the way that just pops there now. I love white embossing powder on dark colors like black or the soft suede, just like this. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut these into pieces. We're going to cut our sentiment apart. I'm just using my paper snips and just going to quick zip, zip, zip down there and across the bottom. And I'm just trying to leave kind of a, you know, an even border, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to notice. And then we're actually going to cut them into pieces. And if it's not straight, that's okay too. There we go. And then we're going to finish putting this all together. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere this to a piece of soft suede cardstock. And of course, all of the dimensions for this card are going to be on my website later this evening. I haven't quite written that blog post yet, but they will be coming very, very soon. So apologize for that. I feel like I have been running myself ragged this week. Back on the hamster wheel. All right. So I just put that on there, and I'm going to add some dimensionals to this just a note. I don't know if I can fit big ones on here. I think I'm going to go with minis. Let's go with minis. Oh, yes. So there's the just. And that's going to go right up here. There we go. And then I want my I think it's just got one for one little mini. This is why I cut it apart, so I can kind of change what area it takes up. Always a quick and easy way to change what your stamps look like. So, all right. And then note is going to go over here. So just a note, just like that. And then this is going to get on dimensionals as well, because I have a problem that I use too many dimensionals. I really do, I think. This is going to be kind of a puffed up card, but I like the looks. I like the extra shadows and things that it gives it. I tell you, I'm all about texture and dimension. So, all right. Now I do have more samples for you, so don't go anywhere. Here we go. Here is my just a note right for the front. And then we got to do the inside of this card too. So I have a piece of 5 1/4 by 4-inch cardstock. And I think I'm just going to grab, let's do this one. I'm going to grab the Evening Evergreen and we'll ink up that. We're just going to put a cactus down in the corner here. And let me see what color. Let's do a blue pot. So you can mix and match. I like that too. I like mixing and matching. There we go. And then this can go right on the inside of the card. Oh, thank you, Cindy. It's very stylish. Like I said, I think it could work for anyone. You could send it to a guy. You could send it to a girl. It is just a good card, right? Really great for nature lovers and stuff too. And I like it because it's a nature card without being the traditional, nature line art style. So there we go. Let me show you my other examples. So I have 3 more examples here. So I have this one. Here's another Just a Note card. Now with this one, I actually used my blending brush and I took a little bit of crumb cake ink and I just kind of made a cloud of crumb cake ink, and I put my little cactus on top of there. Now this one I did punch out some extra pads for it, and you'll notice I did a little trick here. I actually glued the bottom of the pads down with multi-purpose glue, and then I put a dimensional under the other end so they look like they're attached to the cactus but then popping out. So that's my second card. My third card is very similar to the card I just showed you, but here I did it on Night of Navy, and I used the 6x6 Designer Series paper, which I love, and I used that in the background instead of having that texture. So it does the same thing. It adds some, subtle texture to the background, but here you're using pattern paper to make the texture instead of an embossing folder. And this is kind of like, the step down version. This one, I didn't do any of that embossing. I didn't use the punch on this. This is just stamps, ink, and paper, and a little bit of linen thread there. So really easy. And then the last one, this one I really like. I used that same 6x6 Neutrals Designer Series paper, and I tore it. I used 3 different patterns, and I tore it. And I think it kind of has this mountainy desert look to it. And then, of course, we have my cactus in a pot here. And then Hope Your Day is on point on this one on the top. So that one I really like too. Those are my 4 cards that I had to share with you tonight. Like I said, I am going to be putting these up. Just going to flip me around here. I am going to be putting these up on my website very soon, and I'm going to have the dimensions for the card that I shared how to make tonight. And yeah, so I hope that you will come over there and join me. Thank you for joining me here tonight. If you are not already on my mailing list and you're not receiving my weekly email filled with inspiration and all the information on my upcoming classes and specials and a free card making tutorial every week, make sure that you follow the link in the description to this video or on my website to go over and hop on my newsletter. Thank you again for joining me tonight. I hope you guys all have a fabulous, fabulous evening. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.